How about we get to two folks who actually share my frustration, are actually fighting to make our government work for you. First up is freedom-loving Congressman Markwayne Mullin. Sir, how are you this morning?
Good, Carl, but I'm sitting here laughing because you're ranting, and I'm thinking, man, that's a guy in the heart. you should be calling it your Saturday morning rant, because that was good. Because you're right, but our our founding fathers knew this, and during the Federalist Papers, when they were writing it, they were talking about the importance of making sure we don't centralize government and give D.C. too much power, because they knew that. I mean, the farther you get away from the people, the more out of touch our government officials become. That's why we got to push this back down to the local level and get it out of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you about the vaccine mandates, but I also want to mention this morning I tweeted out, I was like, hey, you want to fix the problem in the swamp? Move every department out of D.C. Take, I don't know,
100%.
Take the Department of Transportation, plop them right in the middle of the I-5 Los Angeles traffic thing. Put DHS down on the southern border. Put the interior, in the interior. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right?
Well, you'd think, but and then just keep in mind the mindset of individuals in Washington, D.C. that work at these agencies. Over 94% voted for Clinton and voted for Biden. Now, that's a mindset that is obviously out of touch with the rest of America. I mean, they're regulating those individuals. Most of these individuals that work in these agencies have never worked in the private sector. They started probably as an intern somewhere on the Hill, and they slowly walked their way up. And then when they decided to leave the Hill, they went to an agency. So they've never worked out of the Beltway. And they're trying to tell people that work outside the Beltway how to do their job. It is the worst way of government I've ever seen. And honestly, to weave away how to run the country. I tell people all the time, government is never designed to create jobs. Government was designed to create an atmosphere for entrepreneurs to create jobs. The job creators create the economy, and the economy thrives at local levels, not in D.C.
You have no idea how refreshing it is to hear you say that, because I had listened to bureaucrats all the time. We created, you didn't create anything.
You didn't create anything. Hey, that is, Carl, when I ran in 2012, that right there was a reason why, because I remember I was in my office. I just had a run-in with the EPA in 2011, and they had literally shut down one of my jobs because of the Clean Water Act. It was a long story, but nothing that we did wrong. They changed the compliancy level, and they literally shut down a company we were operating all over the country. And when they left my office, I had the TV on, and I was watching Fox, honestly, and they were making a statement. And actually, who it was at that time was John Boehner. No punch at John Boehner, because Speaker Boehner and I think he's an honest man, and I get along with him. But he goes out there and he says, we got a job package to create 5,000 jobs. I kid you not. This was the day that this happened to me. And I sit there and I looked at it and I said, no, you didn't. You didn't create a single job. In fact, you make it more difficult for me to even be in business. I fight you more than I fight my competitors.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. It's funny. Before I get to this vaccine, I own a farm upstate Connecticut. I have a tractor there. So they got this the all-knowing government puts this new mandate on like a 35 horsepower tractor. So it's got to have all these catalytic converters and eco-friendly garbage. So here's the thing, Congressman. When I run this thing, it sucks off a bunch of the horsepower in order to filter the exhaust. But then every 30 hours, I have to hit this button and then put it in the regen. I put it in park, have to put it on full throttle and leave it on full throttle, and all the junk that it caught in the catalytic converters, it just blows right out in this puff of black smoke for 20 minutes while it's... This is the government. Unbelievable. I'm preaching to the choir, though. I got to get to the...
Hey, listen, you see what's on my shirt. I'm out here. I'm actually out of a ranch right now, which, by the way, Carl, you got to come to. But we have tractors out here too, and none of my guys like to run the newer tractors because they actually are less efficient than the older tractors.
Yeah, but the all-knowing EPA will save us. So I got to get to the vaccine mandates now that we've solved the world's problems on nearly everything else.
I'm just joining your rant. I love your rant.
I mean, you know what? It was my wife was like, you should talk about this on TV. Stop talking to me about it. Talk to everybody else. So this vaccine mandate, the Senate, 52-48, says, I don't think this is a good idea to mandate putting people in a position where they have to put stuff in their body. It's going to head to the House. Biden will probably veto it. What's your take from here?
Well, this came up underneath the Congressional Review Act, CRA, and it was great to see Manchin and Tester both join Republicans and vote against this. This is like a 70% issue. Even those that have got vaccinated, they don't think that it should be mandated.
Right.
The mandate goes too far. Everybody, I mean, over 70% of the population believes that this is unconstitutional, and you're going to see courts rule against that too. But underneath the Congressional Review Act, it forces the hand of Chuck Schumer to allow it to come to the floor on the Senate side. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on the House side. Speaker Pelosi she's all controlling, and she has a lot of tools and a lot of levers to pull to keep this from actually making it to the floor. So first of all, I'll be surprised if it makes it to the floor. If it does make it to the floor, I think it has a overwhelmingly good chance to pass. You know, you already have all 213 Republicans that's already signed on to this, and I think there's more than 5 Democrats that know we're coming after them because we're going to beat them in their election. And the more votes they vote like this, the more opportunity we have to take back the House. So, in one hand, I hope they don't vote for it, but for the American people, I hope they do vote for it because without question, I think we'll probably get, if it comes to the floor, I bet we're over 220.
Yeah.
And it could be higher than that because once it breaks 218, the other ones that were kind of on the fence will probably go ahead and jump over and vote for it too.
Oh, of course. Well, I got about 10 seconds left, Congressman. How are you people doing in Oklahoma with these storms right now?
You know, it rolled over our place last night. Of course, storms in Oklahoma, that's just an evening. That happens all the time. It concerns us when we start hearing all the deaths and stuff. Oklahoma, we're a little bit more prepared for it because we have the storm shelters and we have structures that are built a little different. But we're doing great. You know, we enjoyed the rain and enjoyed the storm. Actually, we just hated the hail because the hail came in and we were scrambling to get our vehicles parked underneath shelter. But our heart goes out to those that got hit. Man, it hurts my heart when I was hearing that we're at over 50 plus and the death tolls rising. A lot of people's families changed right here before holidays, and we all need to be praying for them.
Yeah, tornado is like the dinner bell for you guys out in Oklahoma. For many people, like in New England, if a tornado hit, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd freak out.
Well, we go out and watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy.
We're like, hey, if you can see it, you're good to go.
Yeah, Congressman Markwayne Mullin, we appreciate you joining us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. All right.